All right, shut the fuck up. Here we go. We're gonna get into some things here. Some people might not like what I'm about to say. I don't give a fuck about that, okay? Because what I'm about to say matters. It's important. I paid billions of dollars to get this slot on here for the Super Bowl, so you're gonna listen to what I had to say. Kanye West. Kanye be doing anything. It's kind of terrible to watch. But anyways, so yeah, we're gonna talk about a couple things in pop culture that are unsustainable, that cannot be done, cannot keep going at the rate they're going and expect it to be sustainable. It's just not the way it works. I don't watch wrestling anymore at this point, you know. We went from a time period, bro. I'll start with wrestling, then I'll go on to hip hop. We came from a time period. Every week, you turned on this shit on Monday night, and there was a segment, like not a match. It's just like a random segment that's gonna lead up to a match. We had a borderline fucking crime being committed on television. Every time there was a segment, you had someone getting electrocuted with jumper cables, someone lighting Jim Ross on fire. You had defilation of a corpse. Like, you had a whole bunch of shit going on that was like literally a criminal. You had the NWO fucking running someone off the road and their car does a flip. Like, it was entertaining, and it was, for lack of a better like phrasing, it was entertaining because there was shit that was a criminal act basically going on live television every week. There was a just take this in. There was a criminal act being filmed and broadcast live every fucking week in the 90s. That's not happening no more. Understandably so. I understand why that's not currently the thing, why that's frowned upon, whatever you want to call it. But when you combine that with people not understanding how the business works, nobody has what they call the it factor, okay? What does that mean? That means, okay, I have the it factor. You see me walking down the street, you know it's me. You see, Logan Paul, you know it's Logan Paul. You see, I use him as an excuse for a specific reason. Okay, but I'm going to get back to that in a minute. You see Eddie Guerrero walking down the street when he was alive. R.I.P. Eddie, you know what I'm saying? You would have known it was Eddie fucking Guerrero. You know what I'm saying? You see fucking, you see Hassan Campbell walk down the street. You know it's fucking Hassan Campbell. Especially if you hear him and he's getting all belligerent, waving his arms around, talking about turning someone's TV off. The moment you see this man say something about turning somebody's TV off in the street and he's in a Pele jacket or a fur coat with a hat on, you know it's Hassan Campbell. There's not many people in wrestling right now, the young guys, who have that. And I'm bringing this up with these two specific things because I just heard Doggy Diamonds talk about something to do with this with hip-hop. And for me, it's something I've noticed with the greater of pop culture as a whole right now, where the young guys do not have the it factor. I'll put it like this. It's gotten to a point, if I saw Cody Rhodes walking down the street, I don't know if I know that was Cody Rhodes or not. Same with Seth Rollins. I wouldn't know if that was him or not unless he was dressed crazy or something. Like, Roman Reigns, I'd be like, is that Roman Reigns or is that the guy from Seaman, Aquaman, whatever the fuck you want to call it? Is that him? You know, like, I wouldn't differentiate between the two. I'd be like, is that him or is that Jason Momoa? Like, so just one of them other Samoan guys who's in Hollywood. You know? It's one of those things, bro, where it's like, okay, for an example, I was a very little kid, and me and my mom was driving through New York City, and we just saw Larry King on the side of the road, literally just walking into some type of building. And I was like, Ma, how do you know that's Larry King? She goes, it's Larry King. I know it's Larry King. I know it's Larry King. And like looking back on, I'm like, yeah, it was Larry King. I was a little kid. I wasn't very familiar with Larry King. Larry King old ass had that it factor where you knew it was fucking him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these guys don't have that. And like, even though I don't really watch wrestling no more, I'll like throw on some like, just like some shit that happened recently, if it like made big news or something, or if it's some shit that I'm like looking at from like a sideways angle where I'm like, The Rock and Cody Rhodes did a satanic ritual on television. Okay? Shit like that. But other than that, I don't give a fuck about it, bro. Okay, so like, I'm watching this thing with 3 women who I have no idea who any of them are. I'm sorry, y'all. Randomized black bitch, randomized lighter skinned bitch, and randomized other black bitch. I have no idea who any of y'all are. And I just mean, when I say bitch, it's like a term of endearment. It's like my, you know what I'm saying, term of endearment. But, you know what I'm saying, I don't mean no harm. But I'm looking at these and I'm like, yo, there's no differentiating any of these women from any Instagram model that resembles them slightly. I'm looking at the segment there too. And all this segment reminds me of is, I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. The WWF has always let the Island Boys. Yo, when they said that, I'm like, yo, the WWF predicted the Island Boys. Anyways, like, Rikishi had that A factor, bro. If you saw Rikishi on the street and he's not dressed, you know it's fucking Rikishi. More than Yokozuna, he had that A factor. You just see a fat ass motherfucker with bleached blonde hair and fucking beads, and he's dressed in street clothes walking down the street. You know it's fucking Rikishi. If that man is moving like he's half the size he is, you know it's fucking Rikishi. None of these people really have that. The one thing I could say is, and like half of them don't even know how to wrestle in the style that they're wrestling in. A good example is fucking Penta, bro. I thought it was just me. I'm like, maybe it's just me because he's got a lot of people that really, you know, support him and whatnot. Maybe it's just me. No, I go on a video of Sin Cara doing all these botches. And in Spanish, which I'm going to put in here, there's comments flaming Sin Cara, flaming Penta. Saying Penta's going to be the next Sin Cara where he can't do half the moves in his moveset the right way. And like, listen, because like, I'm like, okay, this guy Penta, he's making some waves. I have one of his masks. Let's just like watch this match just to see what happens. I'm watching it because like, Millennial Smarks, I'm like, you know, respect. It's like, it was a great match. Chad Gable made him look like $1 million out there. It was great. It was wonderful. Watching it, fucks up like 3 different springboard spots. Why are you even trying to springboard off the bottom rope? Because the bottom rope gonna do what the bottom rope do. Like that's like the unknown variable in the wrestling ring is that bottom rope. That bottom rope has a mind of its own. You kind of know what the other 2 ropes are gonna do. That bottom rope is the wild card. I'm watching it and it just like he does these things in this match and they don't even look good. And I'm like, Devontae, I respect your analysis of shit. Nothing that went on there looked like $1 million on Penta's part. What, some standing working holds? I'm sorry, I don't watch wrestling to watch 3 guys go back to back with different hammer locks and headlocks. And if I want to see that, bro, I just go to the local high school when they have a wrestling meet and just be like, okay. Like, I'm watching a match between Hogan and Goldberg from 1998, and they're doing the same thing. And I loved Goldberg as a kid, and I'm like, he's really not that good of a... Neither of them are really that good of a wrestler. But Hogan understood the business at that time. At this time, I don't know. I've already been thinking about this with wrestling for a minute. You see his Doggy Diamonds video. And it's like the same thing, bro. It's like literally the same problem wrestling has. almost the exact same problem. It's a little different. It's going on in hip hop. Bro, if I ran into half these rappers in public, I wouldn't know I ran into them. I have no fucking clue. Like, I could be just outside the corner store talking to one of you motherfuckers and not even know I was just bumping this song a fucking week ago. Like, not even know. Like, this is the problem with the face tattoos. When everyone has a face tattoo, it creates a whole other problem where it's just like generic guy with face tattoo, generic guy with face tattoo, generic guy over here with face tattoo. Eventually, your mind's just going to combine all of them into the same person. Be like, ah, it's generic guy with face tattoo. What do you mean? He's a rapper? I had no idea. I thought he was just generic guy with face tattoo. Like, for real, bro. Like, listen, Waka had the it factor. If you see Waka Flocka walking down the street to this day, you know it's fucking him. You know it's him. If you see the real Gucci Mane walking down the street, you know it's him. If you saw Big Pun, that's why I said, bro, Pun ain't really died. He really just went to prison, and I was locked up with him. Because there was a guy in prison with a literal Big Punisher who literally looked, moved, everything was the same. Everything was the same with this motherfucker that we call Pun. We either called him Pun or Gordo. Big as fuck, just this big guy, but he was fast. He talked like Pun, had the same voice. He was from the Bronx. Like, bro was official. Anyway, so we gotta think about sustainability with this shit, right? I do this in my own shit with this YouTube shit. Like, well, you don't just see me just dropping shit, bro. Like, I used to be doing that. No, like, old man, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to waste my voice if I don't have to. Like, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's just on some, like, high shit, like, yo, this is going to be entertaining. But, like, when it comes to current events, bro, like, I was watching Doggy Diamond say this shit. He's like, bro, there's not even current events going on that are worth talking about. And I say, you stole the words right from my fucking mouth, bro. You took exactly what I was going to say, B, and you just said that shit for me. There's not even current events that are worth talking about. So what? Some rapper I've never heard of, Lil Ronnie, gets smoked down in Dallas in unfavorable circumstances with his daughter. R.I.P. My condolences. Apparently he's linked in with Sauce Walka. Something with Sauce Walka. Some other dude that Al Prophet was like, oh, he's like the biggest guy that I know out of this whole thing called Go Yayo. Never heard of Go Yayo in my life. Maybe I was just in prison for that and never heard of him. I know who Sauce Walka is. I know who Lil CJ Casino is. I know who those two people are out the whole equation. So it creates a situation where it's like, and people have like sort of predicted this. Like, for a long time, there was a meme like, and now everyone's a rapper. And it's true, right? That's really where we've gotten to as a culture. Everyone's a rapper now. Everybody knows the next guy who's going to blow up, who never blows up. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And Doggy Diamond spoke about that to an extent as well in a way. He's like, listen, he's like, half these rappers can't move on to nothing else. Half them can't even like do an interview right. They don't cover, like, when I talk about shit, I talk about it in a way that you only gonna get over here. And I understand that. I understand that's why I'm your favorite tuber's favorite tuber. Okay? Because I understand the way I talk about shit is in such a way that no one else is doing this, pimp. No one else is doing it like this. Sharp kind of doing it like this. He kind of doing it like this. But he talk about a whole different set of shit than I do. And for a while, he was so stuck on Funk No Jumper, despite the fact that I literally told him on the phone, I said, Sharp, No Jumper was never your friend, basically. So, I just had to speak on this. And like, we gotta do better as a culture. We gotta do better at supporting artists that we really feel like need to be supported. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Someone said in a comment too, they was like, yo, Gen Z don't even know how to make music. I said, God damn, you right. You fucking right. But you know what? Now, I brought Logan Paul earlier. WWE is not going to have no chance at lasting. If Logan Paul is the only, I don't want to call him a total package wrestler, where he could work the mic, work the crowd, work the ring. Like, I don't want to call him that, but in a way, it's like, that's what he is, bro. Dominic kind of got that, but Dominic got the problem that Ray had, I think, with promos. Like, Ray was never a big promo guy. I think that's sort of carried over to Dominic. Like, and Ray cannot play a heel. It will not work. It's impossible. Like, he's too over. He's too over. It's the same thing. Like, you wouldn't even get the result that you got from Macho Man trying to play heel with Ray. Where, like, Macho Man was like, he turned heel, and he still had people cheering him. Same with Hogan, all that shit. You won't get that result if you tried to turn Ray heel. You would not get that result. You get a failed result of failing to turn him heel. Either way, man, it's just, I had to rant about this for 20 minutes. I'm out this bitch.